right now, let's go back to Ann and her guests in the studio.
All right, thanks a lot, Stan. Obviously, we have a diversity of faith within our country. We have a diversity of faith right here at this table. Somebody from the Christian, the Jewish, and the Muslim faiths all sitting here together. How do you think that our next step when it comes to our country and looking at the separation of church and state, where do you think that we're going in comparison to where we've been with this? Dennis, would you like to take on that?
It's a good question, and I think what I'm seeing is a blurring of the lines, so to speak, so that people are going for what they think is more comfortable. And so if they were more inclined to, 10 years ago call themselves Christian, they're more inclined maybe now to say, I have faith. And so with those lines being blurred a bit, it kind of communicates to me that people are uncomfortable with what they believe in. I think it's damaging to people personally and their families when they begin to lose sight and allow for the lines to be blurred. But I think that for the public's acceptance, we have become more willing to allow those lines to be blurred.
Sue, can you talk about that? Where do you think we're going in terms of the acceptance of all religions within this country and that separation?
I hope where we're going is more understanding, more tolerance, understanding that there needs to be in this country a place at the table for anybody who wants to observe their religion, and that there are diversity and a multitude of different religious traditions in this country. I hope that we'll learn to have respect for one another and for what those traditions are, and really that there be an understanding that everybody does have a place at the table, that it isn't that one isn't better than the other, one isn't worse than the other, that we all have different ways of getting to the same place, which is making the world a better place, caring more about our communities, doing what's right in the world. And I hope that religion is one of the ways that provides that framework.
Okay, Faiz, we'll get to your response in just a minute, but let's go to Stan in the radio booth once again. Stan?
Thanks, Ann. Let's try and wrap up this discussion a little bit by talking broadly. If you're talking to someone who is trying to assess their own religion or their own faith, what would you encourage them to try to find out or to ask in order to better define what religion or faith means to them and where they fit in some sort of system of belief?
Well, first of all, it's important for individuals to know what they believe and why they believe it, what the basis is upon which they're grounding their beliefs, because what people do can really reshape what their beliefs are in ways that they may not predict, and even ways that they may not want their beliefs to be changed by their actions. And so that kind of self-reflectiveness, I think, is healthy for anyone. But to kind of reflect on where religion is in our society as a whole, it's certainly not going away, despite the predictions of secularization and modernization theorists. Religion is on the rise, and Pentecostal and charismatic Christianity probably faster than any other branch of religion within the United States. And that's not something for other groups to be afraid of necessarily at all, because the political and the social stances of evangelicals, Pentecostals actually aren't all that different from other Americans.
All right. Well, Dr. Candy Gunther Brown is a professor of religious studies at IU. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And back to you in the studio.
All right. Thanks so much, Stan. Now I'd like to go to Faiz to continue the same conversation. Do you see the diversity of faith growing within this country?
Well, yeah, I think it is growing, like
Dennis?
the other, other panelists mentioned here. But also, I have another take on this thing. I think this tolerance part is probably already there. People are tolerating, but it has to really go beyond tolerance to some sort of maybe celebration or embrace of each other in terms of faith issue. That but then somebody cannot practice their own faith if they do not have some sort of understanding that my faith is truth. Otherwise, they will not practice. So that has to be something personal. But in terms of accepting others in the society, it has to be a little bit more than tolerance. It has to be celebration. And I think in terms of this difference, or in terms of the separation of church and state, probably to run the country as a country, it has to be there. So I'm optimistic. I think things are going towards better better
close.
religious
Sue,
society.
you wanted to comment as well on that?
Yeah, I also hope that we're at a point where people can begin to understand, and I absolutely agree, to celebrate all the different faiths. But I also believe, in addition to that, that none of us has the corner on the market on the right way to believe or what we must believe in God or in religion, and that every religion provides a path for understanding for its followers to get to the place of being able to understand God, because God is so much more infinite and so much greater than any one religion can understand, that it takes many different faiths in order to provide the paths for everybody to find that path of understanding that they need. I once saw kind of a bumper sticker that said, God is too big to fit in any one religion, and that stuck with me because I really do believe that we need the multitude of different languages and understanding in religions in order to get to that place of understanding God.
And yes,
I think there's
about 15 seconds.
Sure, there's a fine line between believing I'm right and then coming to the next conclusion, so you are wrong. I would rather have, in my faith, thinking I'm right, but not coming to the other side saying that you are wrong. So
that's a perfect way to end it. Thank you all. And thanks so much for joining us, and of course our group of guests. Stan, thanks for your help tonight as well.
Thank you, Ann.
And for more information on In Focus or to see portions of this show, visit our website at indianapublicmedia.org/infocus. Next month, we'll discuss the shortage of affordable housing in the Hoosier State and how individuals living in poverty can find assistance programs. That's all on the next In Focus. Have a great night.
Production support for In Focus is provided by Smithville, a locally owned business serving central and southern Indiana since 1922, with residential and business internet, voice, and security services. Smithville, local pride, global technology. Information at smithville.net. And by viewers like you. Thank you.